Case here, Old Case Farms. Just headed off the road here down this trail get to the woods. It's Friday morning. I'll just show you a little bit of the stuff we've been dealing with here just the last 2 weeks. We got started hauling some firewood into my place, firewood logs. We do it a little bit different. A lot of people go to the woods and cut all their wood, but I've got a setup there at home with a skid steer, concrete floor in a building where I can make it no matter what the weather, really. And so we haul logs home. And I got this little 1-ton dump truck. If you know any of my videos or watched any of them, it's a red, white, and blue 91 Chevy 1-ton with a bed and hoist behind it, or on it. And we load it full of firewood logs that are 9 foot and take them home. We dump them out. And when we get to a certain point where we're caught up and everything that's coming in is really green, well, I'll dump a bunch of it even in the building so I don't have to move it around. I don't know if you can see it very good, and it'll get really shaky, but that hole in the woods over there, which is quite a bit bigger than what you can see, is what we cut out of here last year to get a lot of my firewood. And then we've had a bunch of firewood logs that have come in because of logging jobs that I had. One guy wanted a bunch of lanes cleared for shooting lanes away from some deer stands on his place. We hauled a lot of firewood in like that from that place last spring, but I'm just about through all the somewhat dry logs we have. I think there may be another 5 or 6 loads of firewood. My loads of firewood on my truck are just dumped over in this truck, so they're probably really only 2 rigs, just a hair more. And this is on my son's property here. Scott owns this. And so I made a deal with him when I sold him the sawmill that I would come over here and log on this, and I would log the saw logs out of it for him and clear it for the firewood that would be in it. He's good with that. And you wind up with stumps, but if you spray it, you don't have to mow it, so and you'll be able to keep all that stuff down. We haven't got any brush piles at all burned over here, but this is what we started. It was all woods starting right back there where I headed up the hill, and you can see dry dirt. So we cleared all this, just working in the mornings. I don't think we worked. We may have worked one afternoon on this. And we don't have a lot of acres cleared here yet, but it's made quite a little hole in the woods where we're at right here. Somebody would say, ain't that dangerous driving your truck up in here? Yeah, it is, but we've got all the stumps cut down pretty low, and I haven't figured out another better way to get firewood out. Haul it 150 yards on the skid steer to the clearing over there, and then mess up a spot of dirt on the clearing where it's already established in grass. I guess I'm probably not doing it that way. But anyway, and you can see some of these stumps get a little taller. They get spread out at the bottom, and you can't really cut them off short. So. But we still got a pile of firewood here from yesterday. Firewood logs to go home with that I have not got hauled out. Probably not quite a load, but we got a bunch of them. And I think I'm going to pull up here and park. Kind of backed up to them a little bit. You got to be careful about how you do this, because you don't want to park where you'll be having to drive over a stump to load logs in the truck. think right there is where I want to be. I get a little coffee, and a neighbor that blessed me with some, I don't know what kind of cheese that is, white cheese, and some deer summer sausage that he had done. It's pretty good stuff. Somebody wondering about the timber that's up in here, it's everything. This is what's just growed up on this hill. When I was in high school, or right out of high school, I remember a guy logging this for the people that had it then. And we found a lot of stumps that we're able to just grab up out of here, but there's like that black colored tree is a red oak, and that one closest to us there's a post oak. They're white oaks. The one laying on the ground there that I've sheared off is a cherry. There's not very much big cherry in here. It's all just smaller stuff, which is fine for firewood. I have a little different specs than a lot of people do. My firewood logs need to be 12 inches or less on the big end to run through the Halverson nice. Well, this is what I really wanted to get to showing you. I haven't ever showed this very much. It's a Bobcat S300. I acquired this about, I don't know, between 2 and 3 years ago. It has foam filled tires, which we have some problems with. They wear off. The ones on this side have been capped numerous times. The back one was capped. I had a new cap on it whenever I bought the loader. And I found a pair that we wound up putting a pair all on this side because it's just a little bit different size around than what it had on it. They're the same rim size and everything, but they weren't as tall. So we put both of them on this side. And so I've got, and we had one of the ones that was on this side that had ruined pretty bad. So I've got one spare, but if I go to running my spare, even with the ones that are on this side, it'll just eat one or the other of them right off. This is my tree shear. I've had this longer than I've had the skid loader, by quite a little bit. It is a Mighty Axe. I don't know what company makes them. I doubt if they're still in business. There was a lot of companies sprung up and was making these things right after they got started with them. I was hoping I could find a stump, but you cut the stumps off with it, like below ground. So, and I had some troubles with it. It'd been a while since we'd used the shear very much on it. The other day when it was nice and warm, I put the shear on it and was clipping some, and I overheated it. And that's a oil cooler radiator, and it has the radiator right underneath of it. I'll put a picture in right here to show you what that looks like. So we got the oil checked on her, and she's all good. It's almost impossible for me to film me cutting down a tree with it. But those two that was laying there, ones that I cut off with it yesterday. Let's walk this way and see if we can't find a stump, because I clipped several of them in here. He's probably cut down a few that I could have clipped with it. I can tell his stumps have a chainsaw cut on. I can come back and cut that stump off lower than that. Some of them, you go to cutting them off and they pull up. Well, that's a good thing. I can't find any of the stumps I've cut off with it. But that's my Bobcat 300. So this tree is a post oak. I'm gonna shear it off right here. It's got a whole bunch of grapevines growing at the top of it, so I'm not sure how this grows. Kinda gotta have both of my hands still I want it to go been grapevines. What a mess. So brushy mess. Well, I got the first load in here on my truck. We're gonna dump him off. So, and we'll get a couple more today, probably. That's 3 behind us. There's 4 right here, and there's 8 loads over there from last week. So, anyway, that's kind of how it is. And thank you for watching. Making some firewood logs with Paul. We'll catch you